Thank you very much, friends, for coming tonight, listening to this. I think it's going to be the first part of a maybe two, three, I don't know how long we're going to be able to talk about those prophecies, Islamic prophecies, and the numbers and stuff like that. So I'd like to mention two things before I start. There is two people who I have to thank for making this tonight possible. One of them is my father. When I was 11, 12 years old, he decided that you guys are in a Muslim country, you guys are Baha'is from Jewish background, you have to know a lot of answers to a lot of questions and prove to the people that you are more Muslim than Muslims, by memorizing all this verses and where you find them and how and what's happening. So I remember for the three of us, he bought British notebooks, very nicely done, and he writes for us the Arabic verses, and we memorize those by heart. The catch was, if you memorize a page, you get 10 cents. So being from Jewish background, said, hey, business is business. Just like this, the teacher told the students once, he said, if you tell me who we love most, I'll give you a silver dollar. So everybody said, father, mother, grandfather, teacher, doctor. No. Finally, somebody from the back he said, okay, Isaac, what's who we love most? He said, Jesus Christ. She said, that's good. Israel, come, I will give you the silver dollar. Then when he was near her, she said, Israel, you are Jewish. How did you choose Jesus? I said, Ma'am, business is business.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So this is the way it is done. And that's, so really, I would say mostly 80% of what I have gone through is I memorized this when I was 11, 12 years old. It came in droves or it came in ones, stuff like that. And the other person who I have also to thank very much, is David here, my son, who insisted that I have to have an iPad. He said, Dad, you're retired, you have to have some entertainment. You can listen to music, you can listen to news, you can sing with the old Iraqi songs that you used to sing, and you do research. So again, the research was all done by my iPad, and the translation of all this is done by the iPad. Yeah. So
it just opened up a whole world, didn't it?
And
It's the universe.
So thank you, David.
That's mine. He's got his own.
Okay. I just wanted to show you something before we start. It's the Prophet Abraham and his three wives, and how all the messengers of God are related to Abraham. I don't know if you guys seen this diagram before. This is Abraham, and his three wives, Sarah, Hagar, and Keturah, the three wives. From Sarah is Isaac came, Moses, and then Jesus. And I think the Israelite, the prophets of Israel, I think from him, here, I'm not sure. From Hagar, Ismail, Muhammad, the 12 Imams
yes.
From her and the Bab. And from Keturah is a very old one of the Israelites, prophet, Midian. Anybody?
I've heard the name.
You heard the name? Yeah, I googled it. It's a very ancient one, maybe the first one. I don't know. And then Baha'u'llah. So those are the chart of the wives and their descendants. Yeah, I want to show it just in case you know you need to refer to it again or something like that. Okay, before I start, I would like to tell you what Baha'u'llah said about the Quran and what entails. He said, "Say, peruse ye not the Quran, read it, that haply you may find the truth. For this book is verily the straight path. This is the way of God unto all who are in the heavens and all who are on earth. If ye have been careless of the Quran, the bayan cannot be regarded to be remote from you. Behold it open before your eyes, read its verses, that perchance ye desist from committing that which will cause the messengers of God to mourn and lament." So if we don't, you see, this thing that will show, which will cause the messengers of God to mourn and lament, by just not paying attention, by saying, "Oh well, maybe it's not right, it's not thing," stuff like that. And there is a lot of Jewish propaganda about the origin of the Quran. They all say it was written by an old monk, Sheikh Buhaira. He wrote the Quran for Muhammad, and Muhammad just came and said, "This is the one I brought from God." So lots of Jews, that's how they believe it is done by a Jewish monk. Now, again, you see, like here, he's talking about the straight path. Let me tell you why Allah made that reference to a straight path. Let's read the first surah, the first chapter of the Quran, Al-Fatiha, the beginning. I have it in English here. It says, "In the name of God, entirely merciful, especially merciful. All praise to God, the Lord of the worlds, the entirely merciful, especially merciful, sovereign, the day of recompense. It is you we worship, and you we ask for help. Guide us to the straight path. Guide us to the straight path."
Can you read Arabic? What do you know Arabic?
I know it by heart.
You know by heart?
Yeah.
Can you say
Yeah.
that?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Yeah. So the whole thing is here the straight path, and that's exactly what Baha'u'llah said, the straight path. The path of those whom you have bestowed favor, not those who have evoked your anger, or those who are astray. Now, so the main thing in this, and that is the beginning of, like a preamble of the Quran, is the straight path. Now, all of a sudden we find one verse. It said, "O Prophet, indeed we have sent you as a witness and bringer of good tidings, and a warner, and one who invited God by his permission and an illuminated lamp. So all of a sudden there's a change in job description from being only reading to the straight path to being a witness, telling for the good news, and warner. He's warning us. So there is something changed here. People, of course, they say he's guiding us to the truth. Of course, most of the Quran is history, truth, how to worship, everything. But then there is other things here, 3 things. So I think what you have to find out is that why he's a witness and why he's giving us tidings. Of course, for the Baha'is, we know he's a witness. He's witnessing what the people are going to do in their time, and what happens when the end of the time, what's going to happen. The other one, Mubashiran, he's going to say, because he says the day will come where the people will rise to the Lord of the worlds. The day will come where the people will rise to the Lord of the world. And Warner, he said, if you don't follow it, it's going to be a problem. You know, you have to follow that. So all those 3 are different than the original job description of the Prophet Muhammad. The reason why I want to start with this surah is, I remember when my father once told me, he said, there is this surah, it's called Surah al-Takwir. Takwir means, like, if we have a beehive, we call it Kurat Zanavir. Kurat Zanavir. Kura means where everything is concentrated, where you put it all together, because there is other meanings to it. But this is what I think meant by Surah Takwir, is to make everything concentrated. Okay, so I will read right away the English translation, and I read what the prophecies behind that.
So which number is this?
Surah Takwir. Let me see. Oh, that's the one. You see, this one I'm saying it by name. I didn't put the name, but you go for Surah Al-Takwir. Al-Takwir. Takwir. Yeah. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. You see, even here, there is a difference in the translation from what I read in the first surah to this one. Everybody translates his own way. Everybody thinks this is the way around. And this is one of the problem I find in translation. They have their own way of translating. They are finding things which has no reason to be there. They think this is what he meant. And if you need to find other translation, you have to go to another web site and find out about 50, 60 translations, each one from a different translation. Okay.
Yeah, it becomes meaningless.
So did you use the same translation
Yes,
for all of these?
for all of these.
Okay. What translation was it?
I don't know.
Okay.
But you see, I have a website. First, when I want to find out, I know the Arabic one. I write in Arabic the couple of words, the one I remember, and then all of a sudden it gives me the whole thing and the tafsir what does it mean?
Commentaries.
And who knows, like about 50, 60 kind of a tasfir. But at least they give me the ayah, the surah and the ayah, I dot the numbers. And then I have another one, I put the number of the surah, and then I put the number of the ayah. It comes in Arabic and in English.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I followed all the time. So I have consistently depended on one translation. Okay. He says, when the sun is concentrated with the Shamsu Kuwirat. By the way, most of it are rhyming. For example, I'll give you an example. إذا الشمس كورت والنجوم انكدرت والجبال سيرت وذا العشار عطلت. It all ends with T. So the rhyming this is one part of the beauty of the language, Arabic language. So half of this is all end with T letter. So the Shams Kuwirat, when the sun is being concentrated, I went and found out that the first solar energy is 1839. I want to find out how close is to the 1844, the coming of the Bab. Like, so I wanted to find out. That's what my father told me. He said it gives you a year or a date close to the 1844, within the range of 1844. So the first solar energy, it was a big tank, was heated by the solar power, was 1839, a few years from 1844. When the Nujum Kadarat, the stars has fallen. Yeah, and when the stars fall. Now, who are the? Let's start with the Jibal. No, after that, let's start with the Jibal Sirat and the mountains. And when the hills are moved, it's not hills, it's mountains. You know, this is the problem with translation, because the mountain is Jibal, and here is showing hills called different things. So the mountains. What are the mountains in this world? What do you think the mountains in this world are?
Institutions,
Higher.
governments,
Higher.
God.
Religious authorities.
You really? Oh yes.
Religions. Those are the mountains in the world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He says, and the mountains are removed. You know. And then Nujum Kadarat. Nujum is any rulers on any people with ideas and communism, stuff like that. So I found out that the Jesuit went down in 1834. That was an example, just I found out. The Jesuit movement went down in 1834. North of Europe, there was another thing happened. Is 1846. I tried to find out, like, and of course we know that at that time there's a lot of people went down. You know, like, and those are considered the stars. In our days now, it's the Hollywood stars went down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is all to find out what happened around 1844. وإذا العشار عطلت, and when the camels are abandoned, I found out that the camels stopped. What is replacing the camels? The first reliable Mercedes-Benz car, 18 1879.
I don't understand that. Replacing the camels where?
The mode of transportation.
Yeah.
Mode of transportation.
Really? They did that?
Yeah.
They brought in the
The
Mercedes?
first reliable
Yeah.
Mercedes-Benz, 1879. And Europe trains started 1830 to the 1849.
Mhm.
That's how those things started. And when the wild beasts are herded together, now we found out that in the USA, the first zoo in USA, 1859.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
everything. And when the seas were burning, seas are burning. What's burning on the seas?
Oil,
Uh-huh.
gas, oil, gas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. So I found out 1860, the first boiling ship
Mhm.
that was driven by vapor and
Steam,
stuff
yeah.
like that. You know, they put fire
Uh-huh.
and they make the boiling water. It was driven by vapor
Yeah.
in 1860. And when the souls are reunited, the souls, it is not here. United, he said, in nufus zawjat, it's been married.
Yes, hello.
In Arabic, they were married, not united. In marriage, he is here talking about. Okay, I found out the first civil marriage, 1836.
Where?
The
Civil
first
marriage where? Like,
Civil marriage, 1836. I don't know. I went to what was the first registered civil marriage. It came 1836.
so that's different than other marriages that are.
Yeah, the other one is like by the church, by this, but this is a registered civil.
Ah.
You know, it's in the book.
So the statement that you translated that goes with that, what was it
Yes,
again?
yes, because the translation is when when the souls are marriage. It's not souls, it's the people being married. With the nufus zawjat. If the people are being in marriage, not unity, in marriage. He's specifying marriage. And then, and when the girl, child that was buried alive is asked for what sin she was slain. You know, in the time of before Muhammad, when people have girls, they take them to the desert and they make a small hole, put the girls there, and bury her in sand.
What I
And
don't
they-
understand about that is how did they have enough women to then continue to procreate if they killed them all?
So not all of them,
But
you know,
killed
but
a
they
lot of them.
they were people killing girls like that.
Because you know what's happening in China now, where
Yes,
they have all these young men and no wives, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a good
Yeah.
ratio.
so, and he's saying when those girls, those buried, maw'uda in Arabic, when those girls are, that the girls that was buried is alive, asked for what sin she was slain. Why I was slain? Found
And that's
out
in the Quran.
that Louise Dittman, 1848, and Elizabeth Stant, they formed women what they call them, groups,
Suffragettes?
huh?
Suffragettes?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in 1848, women groups start saying we want our rights, we want our this, why we are neglected. All around 1840, 1444.
And that's also in the Middle East. That's, or does it matter where?
No, I'm looking in the world.
Okay. Yeah.
I said, where is in the world?
Okay.
Because I cannot put everything in the Middle East. I give me the wrong thing. You know, the Middle East.
It's
First-
not the world. The Middle East is just a part. So you have to
Yes.
look
Yeah.
at the whole. Yeah.
Yeah. And when the pages are laid open with the Suhuf al-Nashr, it's not the pages, it's the news.
Newspaper.
Suhuf,
Newspaper.
Suhuf means places where you read something. So the UK, the international news, the first international news in UK, 1844. For first international news in UK, 1844. Then, and when the sky is torn away, when the sky is torn away, what does it mean? Sky torn away. The sky is the dome, spiritual dome around the on
Yeah.
top of the world. You know, it's gone. The end of the spiritual power in the world is done because of the when the time of the Bab has declared himself, the dome, the spiritual dome that was over the world has been torn or torn away. Now he said, and when the hell is lightened. Hell is lightened. So to me, is the hell is the people who persecuted or martyred the first Baha'is, the first Babis. The hell was open for them, you know, because how they martyred those people which they have nothing, they did no wrong. And when the and the heaven and the paradise is brought nigh, open the paradise. Those people who were martyrs, 20,000, the paradise opened the door for them. I mean, don't forget, this is my translation, this is my finding, you know. Of course, there is a lot of translation for anything in the Quran. There is 72, according to the Guardian of the Faith, there is 72 translation of the Quran. You can different things.
Well, that was way back when. There have been a lot more since then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Many.
Many. Yeah. And then every soul will know what it hath made. And to me in Arabic it says when the soul will know what she did and what she's doing. The new era of the Baha'i faith knows that this is wrong and this is right according to the new laws of Baha'u'llah, new laws of the Ba'a. So the souls are now deemed under different laws and different ways of commanding the good things and what they did wrong in the past. Oh, but I call to witness the planets. I didn't know what does that mean. With planets, I left it like that. It's up to interpretation. the stars which rise and set, different movements, rise and set, different political movements, different imams, beginning and end, very different fatwas, beginning and end, everything now, the stars are going up and down. And the close of night, closing the night, no more night. When Bala came, when the Ba came with the new revelation, everything, there is no more night, all light. And what did he say? He said, this day there will be no night
Yeah.
after.
Yes.
Isn't that what in the Bible?
Yeah.
This day there will be no
Yeah, this
night after, so the night is gone. And the breath of morning, the here in Arabic it says the morning signs start shining up, so this is when it's the beginning of the Bab and his relations and everything. That is the truth, the word of an honored messenger. That this is in truth the word of an honored messenger. Honored messenger. So in other words, somebody is honored. Not he is stupid, he's crazy, he's this. This is the word of an honored messenger. Mighty, established in the presence of the Lord of the throne. So he's giving some kind of how to explain this mighty established in the presence of the Lord of the throne. So it is 100% right. One to be obeyed. One to be obeyed and trustworthy. You have to trust it. You have to obey it. This is the future, not in the past. Oh yeah, well that's when the Prophet Muhammad came. No, he's talking about the future here. When this is going to happen, when this is going to happen, when this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen.
Well, the honored messenger is in contradiction with the idea that Muhammad was the last prophet. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how it's interpreted in mainstream Islam, that was it. There's no more.
Yeah. There is no prophet and messenger.
Yeah.
While there is nothing in the messenger, it's only the prophet.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I will read that after this.
Yeah.
And your comrade is not mad. He's not crazy. And your comrade is not mad. In other words, he's not his brain have a problem in it. Because lots of people, they call the Bab, he's crazy, he's not stable, he's this, he's this. Surely he beheld him on the clear horizon. So now he's giving up explanation about the new messenger. And he is not avid of the unseen. He knows. Nor is this the utterance of a devil worthy to be stoned. They killed him. He's not worthy to be stoned. Whither then go ye? This is not else than a reminder unto creation, unto whomsoever of you willeth to walk straight, and ye will not, unless it be that Allah God willeth, the Lord of creation. So everything is that you have to take care of this guy. He's not crazy, he's king, he's honored, he's this, when all this happens, this is what happens. So this is sorry.
So it was interesting when you talked about the Lord of the Throne. I wonder if that's a reference to Baha'u'llah and the relationship of the Bab with looking up to the Lord
Yes,
and the seeing on the horizon.
yes.
I think that might be
Yeah.
true. So it's both.
There's one other thing about the horizon. Anyway, so here we go. Like this all happened. When this is going to happen, this will happen, and be careful. He's right. He's honored. He's everything. He's not crazy, and you have to follow him. Don't stone him. Don't kill him. That's what happened. In one of the tradition of Islam, he says, my people will follow the way that Israel did, the Israelite, the people of Israel will do. They will follow exactly shibran b'shibran. Shibr is this. This is a way of measuring for the Arabs. This is 2, 3, and dhira is the yard. He said, my people will follow the people of Israel, shubran bi shubran, dira'an bi dira'. They will follow it. It's the same way they killed Jesus Christ, you will kill the new manifestation.
Interesting.
That's hadith. Meditation.
But we can't really trust the hadith as being
Well,
authentic.
but some of them, when the Bukhari,
Now, are those the
From
Sunni
Bukhari.
ones or
the Bukhari,
okay?
this
So
is the
they're
Bukhari.
not Shiite.
No, Bukhari, I don't think there is a Shia. Bukhari, this is one of the most trusted. And when you say to a Muslim, this is from Bukhari, he knows this is trusted. Because this said on this said on this is said on this is said on that. Yeah, okay. So I finished this thing. Now let's see what's next. Okay, now. Ooh.
Oh, that's okay.
Bedtime.
I haven't.
Well, that's okay. We'll save it for.
Jamal,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
we have next month also is you.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
We've ordered better weather too.
Well, I wanna start with. I have 2 things to start with, but I think I will start with the year on the Quran, which year that the messenger will come. I had you, David, and you, Mark. When I was talking to you, you mentioned something about the blow of the horn,
Yeah.
the trumpet,
The trumpet.
trumpet.
Yeah.
I found this. I think you knew only maybe the one first about
The blast of the trumpet. There are supposed to be two.
Two, yes. I found the whole thing. What happens after that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I found the beginning, but then I went through. I said, let me see what else after this
Yeah.
horn. But let me go back to the seal of the prophets. He says Muhammad was no father of any of your men, but he is the seal of the prophets. So there was no mention of seal of messengers. If they say the verse in the Quran says the messengers and the prophets, he is the seal of the prophets. That means the prophets who prophesies what's going to happen in the future. And then, in fact, there is another verse. It says, "We made you the people of a middle position." Again, that's a verse. We made you people of the middle. So really, the middle is that the prophecies from the beginning until the Prophet Muhammad is about what's coming in the future, what's coming in the future. But when at the end of Muhammad, the thing completely different now. There's the prophecies start becoming true. The beginning at the end of the world, the day when the day will be established, the peace will be established, things will be established. So it's the prophecy and the fulfillment of the prophecies. That's why it's in the middle. They are in the middle because prophecies and fulfillment of the prophecies. Where do I found this? Page. Yeah. So the surah and the ayah is Muhammad is not a father of any of your men. Well, Muhammad didn't have any son,
Yeah. but
but he is the seal of the prophets. Then there is another one. Now I'm talking about the year 1260 Hijri, the year. This is from Sajda 35, ayah 5. He arrangeth the matter from heaven to earth. He arranges the matter from heavens to earth. Then it will ascend to him in a day. Arrange the matter and then ascend to him in a day. The extent is 1,000 years of these which you count. Okay, so when he arranges the matter from him to the earth, that means the last Imam, the 11th Imam, died 260. 1,260. And then 1,000 going up again, end of it. So 1,260. 1,260, the Bab was called Here I Am. Exactly, the same years. So why it is not 1,270? And anybody knows? Why it's not 1,250? That's a discovery for me too. Add the numbers 1, 2, 7. What do you get?
Has to add up to 9.
28.
Yeah.
28.
No, 1 and 2. No, we'll add them 1 plus 2 plus 8
Yes.
plus 6.
1 to 6?
Yeah.
Oh.
1, 2, 3,
Adds up to 9.
6, 9.
Oh.
You know, those. I mean,
Oh,
really,
I see what you mean. Yes.
Yeah, those really like I am going. I'm sorry. It's all those are in Arabic.
Yeah.
All those YouTubes are in Arabic. You wouldn't believe the 9 and 19 how it's mentioned in every surah, in the beginning, in the end, in this, in that, and the Bab, in fact, in the book that you gave me, and there is no end to the number 19, especially. And I started at the beginning. I said, after I found lots about number 9, I said, let me start on 19. So I said, what is the significance of number 19 in the religions? Woo! I said, Jamal, this is not the time for it. Let's stop at number 9.
Yeah.
And number 19 is means wahid. Wahid is number 1, is wahid. And number 1 is really, when you add the numerology for number wahid, waw, alif, hay, d, is 19. And wahid is unity. Unity is the messenger of Baha'u'llah. To summarize, the messenger of Baha'u'llah is all about unity. All the 10 principles of the faith, or everything in the faith, when it happens, what happens is you become unity. The peace, the religion and science, men and women, everything you talk about, when it happens, it becomes the unity of mankind. For the summary of one word of the messengers, of the messenger of Baha'u'llah is unity. That means number one, and that is unity. And that is number 19. That's why number 19 is very important. Number 9 is Baha, the name of Baha'u'llah. This is one of the names of God. This is the most excellent attribute. It is Baha. And in Arabic is number 9. Okay. What should we go a little bit more? Or?
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Snowplow.
Huh?
Plowing us in.
Yeah.
The snowplow's out already.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now there is this one of the verses in the Quran. This happened to be, there was an old Iraqi, in fact in Mosul, one of the Mosul people in Iraq, wrote to the Guardian about a couple of verses in the Quran. And he told him, is this about the guardianship, your guardianship? And the Guardians say, this is one of the 72 meanings in the Quran. 7 and 2 equal
9.
another 9. You know? This I want to read to you the Arabic so you can see how the rhyming and the tone and everything. مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يخرج منهما اللؤلؤ والمرجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. So see the majesty of the Arabic language there, you know, like it's all, and it's end up with the same nice thing.
So what did you just read there? Was that a surah?
That's some of the verses
Okay.
that I'm gonna give the English.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you the English. He is the Lord of the 2 easts and the Lord of 2 wests. In fact, here the 2 dawns and the 2
Sunset.
yes, and the 2 is the 2. And then he says, then which of the favors of your Lord will ye deny? That means those are the favors of God. Which one of them you deny? You know. He has let free the 2 bodies of flowing water, meeting together. Bahrain is not body of water, seas. The 2 seas, bodies of the 2 seas meeting together. Between them is a barrier which they do not transgress. Then which of the favors of your Lord will ye deny? So this one repeats all the way. In which favors of the Lord you deny? He say what's happening, and then he says, in which favors of your Lord you deny? Then which of the favors? Yeah. Out of them, of those 2 seas, out of them come pearls and coral. Then which of the favors of your Lord will ye deny? So this person wrote to the Guardian, he said, you are from the family of the Bab and the family of Baha'u'llah.
Yeah.
From the two C's, you know. Are you the one who fulfilled this one? He said, yeah, one of the 72. So it could be the Guardian, it could be Baha'u'llah and the Bab. You know, the two C's. But there is something in between, you know, like although they meet, but between them is a barrier which they transgress. They won't meet. They only flow together.
So they were alive at the same time, but
Yeah,
they never
they-
physically met.
Yes, they meet, but they don't meet. So in other words, because who knows what exactly meant you meet if you don't meet? Maybe the families they don't meet, but what comes out of them is pearls and coral. So this is again, you know, this is a translation, one of the translated meaning of this verse. Now, page 5, page 5, page 5, page 5. Yeah, that's another one about the great announcement. It says, what they are questioning among themselves, what they are questioning about themselves, about the great news, big announcement, in which they differ, everybody is saying different things. Yes, they will know. And again, yes, they will know. He repeat, yes, they will know. And yes, they will know. He repeated twice. So, of course, he's saying, are you asking about the great news in Naba al-Azim? When you count the letters in the Naba al-Azim is 19. The Naba al-Azim, the great announcement, you count the letters, is 19 letters in these two words. Then you come to twice. Always I said, why? He said, no, they will know, and no, they will know. They say, why couldn't he say, no, they will know? In other words, somehow it will become okay with them. They will find out what it is. Then I said, let me see how much, because in Arabic it says, كَلَّا سَيَعْلَمُونَ ثُمَّ كَلَّا سَيَعْلَمُونَ ثُمَّ, and then I said, let me see what's the number of ثُمَّ. It's number 9. Between the Bab and the Baha'u'llah, how many years?
9. Yeah.
So, in other words, he said it twice. They mean they will know once, and they will know again, and 9 in between them. 9 years between them. That's another fulfillment of between the Bab and Baha'u'llah. I have a lot of things about 9 when we have time. And the other thing is that they are not allowed to give meanings of the Quran. People who wants to give meanings. He says, move not your tongue with Quran, that you may hasten to learn it. Undoubtedly, it is upon us to preserve it and to recite it. It's not preserve it, it's to gather it. Jam'ahu. That means to make it like that. To preserve it, to gather it, and to recite it. So in other words, we are upon us to recite the Quran. If you recite it, follow it. When you read it, follow it. Then it's upon us to make it clear in what's the meaning of it. Then, not when the Quran is read, you follow it. You don't give the meaning, you follow it. Then we will give you the meaning. But the beauty of it, he said, ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَ بَيَانَهُ. We will make it clear. But the way he says bayanahu is from the bayan, the book of Baha'u'llah and the Bab. Both of them, they have the bayan. So in other words, we'll make it to you clear in those form of bayan. You know what I mean? So it's not, he said, we will make it to you clear in some other way. He said, in a way of the bayan. To give mention of the book of the Bab and the Baha'u'llah. That's another prophecies here. Do you want me now to read about this, the blow of the trumpet or the horn or whatever?
Yeah, please. That's from
Yeah.
That's
I
a
should-
difficult.
I shouldn't speak for everybody.
That
how do you
occurs,
guys-
that recurs. It seems like that shows up. I don't know if it's in the is it only in the second New Testament, or is it in the Old Testament too, or?
I think it's in both.
So,
It's also in the Messiah. The trumpet will sound.
Where did they get it from?
From the Bible.
It's in
so really when
Which-
I mean it's clear, it says it's two blasts, right? And when you go to the translation or to the meaning, they say the two is really three.
Really?
All of a sudden the
They're
two became
interpreting
three.
it.
You know, it's just like this teacher asked his student, he said, can you tell me what is the five continents in the world? The five continents. The student said, the four continents is three, Asia and America. Huh?
That's cute.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
He said, what are the five continents? He said, the four continents is three, Asia and America. It became two, because he knows only two. He brought it from number 5. Here is different. Here he brought it from 2 to 3, and who knows, so many years they'll make it 4 now. You know. Okay, let David come here.
That's from the Surah of the Horde, is it? Or what is the...
Let me see. On page 14, page 14. You know, I have so much pages, and sometimes I go from one to the other, and then I have to see. Surah al-Zumar. Al-Zumar. Surah 68, the verse 39. It's called al-Zumar. Surah al-Zumar, 68 and 39. And the horn will be blown, and whoever is in the heaven and whoever on the earth will fall dead, except whom God willeth. There it will be blown again, and at once they will be standing looking on. So it will two blows, and then they will be standing looking on. And the earth will shine with the lights of its Lord. So after those, the earth will shine. So they are saying one blow is the end of the world, and the other blow is the
Resurrection.
resurrection.
Yeah, beginning of the.
Yes. Or one blow is the Bab, and one blow is Baha'u'llah, the twin manifestation. And the earth will shine with the light of glory and its Lord. And the records of deeds will be placed. Your deeds will be the one more important that time. And the prophets and the witnesses will be brought, and it be judged between them in the truth, and they will not be wronged. So there will be judgment. You know, who did something wrong, who believed in the new manifestation, or who he didn't. And every soul will be fully compensated for what it did. You know?
Or didn't.
Yes, that's my problem.
And he is most knowing of what they do. So God knows it. I mean, you cannot hide it from him. And those who disbelieved will be driven to hell. The people who don't believe will be driven to hell in groups, not in ones. In groups. Until when they reach it, its gates are open, and its keepers will say, Did there not come to you messengers from yourself, reciting to you the verses of your Lord, and warning you of the meeting of this day of yours? Well, he said, in the three thing, you will be a witness, and you will be glad tidings, and you are the one the one who will warn us.
That's right.
See, this is some of the meanings of the three additional job descriptions.
So that's Muhammad that's greeting them at the
Yeah.
gate of hell.
Yeah. They will say yes. Yeah. But the word of punishment has come into effect upon the disbelievers. That's it. You did it. You did it wrongly. The hell is open for you. To them it will be said, enter the gates of hell to abide eternally therein, and wretched is the residence of the arrogant. They were arrogant. That's exactly the way people treated the Bab and Baha'u'llah. They were arrogant. Enter paradise, inherit the earth, righteous workers if God guide me. So in other words, there is other people that will be to enter the paradise. But yes, there had come to you my verses, but you denied them and were arrogant, and you were among the disbelievers. So after the trumpet, this happens. Heaven and earth. The one who believed and were saved, and the one who didn't, all their deeds completely were gone. All the good deeds, all whatever they did in your life is gone.
Judgment Day.
Huh?
Yeah.
Judgment Day.
Yes, Judgment Day. It is Judgment Day. You know. Now I want to read you some of the numbers because I promise, you know. Yeah, let me tell you about this. You know, like in every surah in Quran, some of the surahs have letters at the beginning of it, either one or two or three or four or five or six. You know, six letters. Some they have, some they don't have. Some it's repeated twice. Sometimes more than that. Sometimes, and nobody knows what it's all about.
They're
Although
isolated,
now
right? They're isolated. They don't.
isolated.
They're not part of a word.
No. It's just like letters. One, two,
ALM
C,
as a consonant.
Khayas, Khas, not S, Sad. You know, what is it? Nobody knows. Now, if you go to the
Are
internet,
those consistent among all translations?
yeah.
That is a Quran.
No, they cannot do anything to it.
Well, that's why I asked. I was
Yeah,
wondering if.
no.
Yeah.
And you should see the stories and things.
They
I
try to
spent
explain.
hours. I spent hours trying to find out. They found it. It is after a story of 2 hours. I found out the guy changed from a Muslim. He became Christian because he found out all this when he put them together this way. When you add the numbers, when you add the letters, when you group them this way, then you take this letter and you take this one. It says Jesus is becoming again. Jesus, God Himself.
Oh.
Jesus, you should
You
follow
can find
Him.
anything
Huh?
if you're looking for it. Can't
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jesus. You know,
Yeah.
like, but this is depends on how he plays with it.
Yeah.
You know. Then the other guy they said, no. Those are words in Syriani. In-
Syriac.
Yeah, in land. And the other said, no. Those are words in Hebrew. You know. For example, Taha. Oh, Taha is man in Hebrew. What's the beginning? What the meaning of man in the beginning of a surah? Oh man, what's oh man? You know, like you know. But they give you different words, and then they say, oh yeah, because he said, beware. One of them he said, I think it's beware. Oh, it means after that you have to to pay attention to it. That goes on and on and on. And one of them, he's a civil engineer, and he teaches civil engineering in university in Syria. Oh, he said those are equations of matter and stuff like that. You know. So.
In economics, we call it torturing the data until
Oh,
it
that's
confesses.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So did you come to any conclusions, Jamal? From what you said?
My father told me when I was young, he said, when they repeat something and then it reaches to this, you add everything is 1,260. And it revolves around. So when I was reading this book that Mark gave me, the Bab gave its meanings, gave some of it some meanings. So I said, oh my God, that's what my father told me. I remember. So he says, when it says Alif Lam Mim, Alif, A-L-M, and it repeats it. A-L-M, all of a sudden it says A-L-M-R. When it reaches to that, stop and count the numbers of the alphabets. So when you count when you count all the numbers, all the letters, and you reach to that A-L-M-R, becomes 1,260. And then when you start again, you go in circle, again and again. A-L-M, but it has to be one A-L-M and end this with A-M-R. So,
That means,
huh?
I didn't know till now that Alif Lam Mim.
Alif Lam Mim. He said the Alif Lam Mim, what the meaning, why it's Alif Lam Mim, has a meaning. Alif is Allah, God. A is Allah. He said the representative of Allah is Muhammad. So Muhammad Alif Lam. L is Ali. Ali. The first, the first Imam,
Yeah.
Ali, is the L of Ali. Muhammad Ali. M is his wife, the daughter of Muhammad, Fatima. Fatima is the daughter of Muhammad. This is all the
Holy Family.
the Holy Family, the whole 12 Imam, with the Bab, are from her family, from Fatima and Ali, those Imams. So Alif Lam Mim is Muhammad, Ali, and Fatima. And then when you add them up, and then you stop at Alif Lam Mr, 1260, and then when you add 1, 2, and 6, you got number 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the others, I don't know. I didn't see anything.
But I think those, I'm a bit vague in my memory of the book, but I got the impression that some of those letters also have other meanings
Other meaning.
associated with them. It's not just that numerological
Yes.
interpretation.
Yes.
These are names of God that
Yes.
are particularly important
Yes,
in that particular surah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
it's
So
quite
I
complicated.
am with you. That's why I'm trying to find out. But so far, I have nothing there, which is really meaningful. The last thing is the one with the equations, and then there is so many things about how many times the moon go around the thing. And then it's 245 rounds the moon around the world. And then it's 19 times of 19 this. And 19 of that is 19 of that. Oh my God, this is number 19. And then this surah means, no, this is like that. It's because this followed before that and followed before this. So they are trying really hard to find out. And each guy have his own YouTube and his interpretation, and it's full of interpretation.
And these are Baha'is who have
No, those all are people who are either scientific science people or religious people or whatever. You know, they find me, for example, some of them they know the Hebrew. Some Muslims they know Hebrew, so they try to find out which one of those two letters or thing is Hebrew, means what, and the other one is Syriani, from Syrian language, whichever is close to that. So it's in between different people interpreting different things, trying to come to them. But none of them really gives a solid meaning. Means, yeah, I got it. You know, when they say eureka, nobody gives you a eureka and say, oh my God, this is exactly.
Well, it reminds me, as you're talking about the Ptolemaic version of astronomy, where they started out with the assumption that the Earth was in the middle, and then they had to figure out mathematically what all these planets were doing
Yeah.
when they were wavering all over the
There's
place.
someone going in front, and then they would go back and go
And
forward.
they just couldn't put this together
Yeah.
at all. They
Yeah.
had these
Yeah.
harebrained
It was
explanations that were
And-
extremely difficult because that one assumption at the beginning was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so maybe something similar is happening
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, and then you know what? When they reach to a problem, they say, you know, but if we take two letters, we omit them, then this makes a difference.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
You have to omit or add a, or you know, something that makes
But
sense.
I mean, you covered this beautifully earlier when you were reciting one of the passages from Muhammad, where he's saying you cannot interpret the Quran.
No.
You can recite it and you can follow it.
follow
That's
it.
all you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Just take it on faith, and then ask the next messenger for the explanation.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
the Bab provides that.
Yeah, in the Bayan.
That's right.
Yeah.
When you say interpret, does that mean you can't have a personal opinion?
Well,
Or does
for a
it-
difficult
or-
subject like this, I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to come up with
I
these
like that
framing
idea.
ideas.
I like
I
that
guess
idea.
what I'm saying is there's a difference between having an opinion and an authoritative opinion. When you say you can't interpret, you can't.
Yeah, you can try.
You can't say, well, this is what it means. I can say, I think this is what it means, but I can't say this is what it means because I say so.
No. I mean, that's the Baha'i
Yeah.
understanding of the difference between having a personal opinion and
Yeah.
having an authoritative body
Yeah.
like the Universal House of Justice saying this is the meaning.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's a Baha'i thing, but it works in the Islamic context. I think.
I'm thinking like in the Islamic context, you had a clergy who definitely did say this is what it means because I say so.
Oh yes.
And is that what the
Yeah.
thing is really getting at,
Especially
or
this is Shia.
yeah,
And that's the same thing as, I guess, priests from Christianity, depending on which bunch of
Yeah.
Christians and what, you know.
I don't want to get theological, but like in the Baha'i faith, we're told to respect the intellect, and let's say not to interpret or not to have an opinion on it. Would it be a denial of the intellect? Do you see what
you're saying?
Yeah.
Isn't it
Um,
the rule of investigation as opposed to the rule of declaration?
when you say the rule of declaration, what
Oh,
do you mean?
I figured it out.
Yeah.
No more investigation needed.
Well, this is where
Yes.
Baha'i
No.
becomes scientific in
Yes.
its approach, right? Where you never have the final answer.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you're always going to have more evidence, more insight, more
It's-
personal growth.
And
or
well,
whatever
for
it's
1,000 years we have room to grow, and
the next manifestation will presumably give us
Yeah.
a lot more input to process to help us with our insights into the Baha'i writings
yes.
as well as their own.
Yeah. I don't want to get carried away, but I guess too, like the process of gaining in knowledge is a collective one. That I mean, you can go off into the hills and read the writings, but the real truth, our true understanding, is gained by interacting with other people.
And applying them.
Yeah, applying them.
And
But-
being tested in applying them.
Yes.
Indirectly.
Yes,
Like
and
not like intentionally, but
and,
that's
and
just
directly too sometimes. But the exchange of opinions.
Clash of the opinions.
Yeah.
The truth happens.
Yes. Yeah.
Clash of opinions. That's exactly
Yeah.
why the assembly we have consultation.
Mm-hmm.
You see, the clash of opinion, the truth will shine.
Yeah.
But in a case where we're talking about these disconnected letters in
Yes.
the Quran, I mean, for 1,400 years, people have been breaking their heads on that
Yes.
particular problem
Yes.
and not come up with a solution that makes
No.
sense.
Yeah.
it's almost like a built-in test. I told you, you can't. Well, okay. You're gonna try and figure it out. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, as some of them they say this is where this Jewish monk put all this, so eventually it will mean everything follow Moses and Jesus or whatever, you know.
I think the mystery comes in play, because these are the words of God, and there's a mystery in it. We won't understand. Human mind cannot understand most of it. That's why our minds are limited. The God's mind is not limited. So these words are from God. Sometimes we are not supposed to understand everything of it because we cannot understand everything. Otherwise, we'll be part of Him. So be a human being. Sometimes you don't understand. As Mark said, when manifestation of God comes and explains some of it. Like Abdul Baha has explained lots of things about Quran and also Christianity. We still don't understand some of it. So, and this idol, that sometimes we have to leave something the hands of God and say, okay, we tried and we didn't understand the whole thing.
You'd think that, I don't mean to be critical or is a better word, but given all the other information that would be in the Quran that you could go out and make use of, it seems kind of like a fool's errand. Oh, I'm going to spend my time trying to figure this out. Like, but you could be doing this other stuff.
Yes.
It's clear.
Yeah, but you see, in this day and age, there are so many people now saying Islam is wrong, Islam is not. Only they say, marry so many people and jihad. Marry so many people and jihad. This is the summary of Islam nowadays in the world. You know. And we have to say it is not, there is other things in Islam.
Mm-hmm.
There is prophecies, there is laws, there is this. You wouldn't believe how many things that people are doing nowadays in Islam is nothing. Like, you know, the stoning of the people, it is not in the Quran. It was a period of stoning according to the Jewish religion.
Yeah.
And then he changed it. I don't want to get into it, but it was changed completely.
I meant the letters, by the way. Those when I said that, I just realized that I said those letters that people are trying to make sense out of. It's like you said, they've been banging away at it for how long? And well, what could they have accomplished if they had spent their time working on something that was clearly?
That's right. So that's what Baha'u'llah said. Don't find any career which starts with words and end up with words.
Yeah. I think too, like in Christianity, well, in Judaism, you know, the books being sealed up until the time of the end.
Yes.
The 2,300 years, the prophecy of Daniel, that the books would be sealed up until the time of the end, and that who would be worthy to unseal the books? And you know, in that Revelation it says the books shall be unsealed. Maybe that's part of it. That I remember when I was a Christian, basically I didn't know of anybody who did really understand what it was they were talking about. You know, the true meaning of what was there, I felt I didn't understand. It was a mystery.
Tolstoy said it. He said, we spent our life trying to decipher, I have the quote, decipher the meaning of this world. He said we couldn't. He said, but there is one Persian prisoner in a Turkish prison. He has the key.
Who said that?
That's Tolstoy.
Tolstoy.
Tolstoy, right? That's right. I remember hearing that. Yeah.
I can give you the
No, I remember seeing that.
So Baha'u'llah came, he gave us the key. He gave us the key for everything. That's why I'm saying, when Muhammad said, we made you a middle people, ummah. Ummah is the gathering of the people following which religion. He said, we made you ummatan wasata. Ummatan, your people are in the middle. So in other words, all the prophecies up to the Prophet Muhammad, then from that it's completely different thing. Completely different way. In fact, it is, he says, it is when the people will rise for the Lord of the worlds. The people will rise for the Lord of the worlds. And they asked Baha'u'llah, if he stopped this, they told him, the Muslims are saying Muhammad is the prophet, is the seal of the prophet and seal of the messengers. Which one is right, what you should do? But Allah said, tell them they can say whatever they want. This is the day of the people who will rise to the Lord of the world. In other words, it's a different interpretation altogether. Anyway, thank you very much.
In fact, thank you very much.
And I hope you enjoyed this session number 1.